Hello and welcome to Upload,
a podcast by those who upload for those who want to.
or who already do.
And anyone else for that matter.
My name is Lionheart and I've been creating content for over a decade.
And my name's Midgeman and I've been trying to create content for almost a decade.
Together with some of our friends and fellow content creators, we're going to be exploring the great big world of content creation.
We'll be looking into the serious topics that face content creators today.
Because if someone said that to me like in person, or said that kind of stuff to me, you know, IRL, I wouldn't take it. So why would I take it like online? Why would I hide aspects of sort of my identity?
As well as some less serious topics.
I've been blindsided by the fact that one of your old live streams is called Suck My Missile for like the last
Sorry,
10
what?
minutes.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Upload.
Hello and welcome to Upload, the content creator podcast for those who upload, those who want to, and anyone else for that matter. My name is Midgeman.
And I'm Lionheart.
And before we get on with today's episode, please remember to like, rate, turn on any auto downloaders, and interact with the podcast. If you want to leave us a comment and get in touch, you can do so on YouTube or Spotify's comment sections or via our email, hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk. Also, if you go to uploadpodcast.co.uk, you can find all of our links, a list to all of our platforms and shows where you can find us on, if there's a preferred platform you want to listen on. And also join our Discord, because we also have a creator bootcamp in there where we throw creator updates and can help you out on your things. Like if you want to get advice on a thumbnail or things like that, this is the worst sell for the creator section of the Discord, but this is what we're doing over there.
If you need to bounce ideas from one creator to another and get that mindset of from a creator's lens, because more often than not, if you post in your own Discord or you talk to your own community, your own viewers, which is still really useful to do every so often, I would encourage doing it, you'll get their, and you should be getting their feedback on your thumbnails and stuff from a viewer lens, but sometimes you need it through the lens of another creator. So that's when it's useful to
a critical lens rather than someone who is biased towards your content and goes, "Oh, I can't wait for this video," kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd click on that regardless, and it might still have something that isn't that optimal still. Like something could be a tweaked and so I'm just trying to work out, do I look really bright today? I haven't changed any of my lighting settings, but I feel like my forehead is just this massive illuminated.
I'm sitting relatively in the darkness today.
Yeah,
it's kind of
because I've got my blind down.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's completely ruined the balance of everything else.
I'll brighten myself up. I'm gonna go
pull the blind up.
The other way. So last time we recorded this podcast is actually an episode that went out way before this episode now, because of how we've structured some things, because there was some important updates.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
There's also been some important updates since we last recorded again, but I'm not going to forward the podcast because I don't think I think we're already behind that, because one, you've been on holiday, so we've had a lot to catch up with, and yeah, just a lot going on. But I'm going to start today with a small anecdote. Small world is I don't know if this is a saying anywhere other than the UK, but a small world scenario is essentially when something happens that is like in your small ecosystem of life and then occurs in what perceptively is a like wider world, really small chance. So in the UK, we say small world. Tangent. Anyway, I've been doing a sponsored campaign with the game Timberborn. That video should be out by the time this video is out. So anyway, I've been working with this agency that got me onto the video, and I've been, huge email chain. It comes down to the time, and this company is a company in Seattle, Washington. As far as everything I can tell, that's where all the payments and stuff are going to. So it's a US company. I'm a UK company. Anyway, I've completed the video. I've sent it off to review. They love it. And then suddenly, 6 p.m. on the evening I've sent the video, she goes, I get in the chain of, "Hi, Alex. Not actually related to the video, but I have someone here who knows you."
Amazing, like small world.
And I'm like, sorry, what? Enter into the email chain. I won't say their name or anything because I don't know about privacy, but essentially it is someone reaches out and say, "Hey, just watched the video and realized I know that voice. My name is blank. I was the year above you at secondary school."
Amazing.
And it's like, I was a year above you at secondary school. And it's like, it's not even one of those things of barely know each other. It's like, no, this person dated someone I knew kind of thing. Working as a, influencer, contract manager at this company, which is a US company who's hired me, a UK creator, for covering this game for the campaign. It was just like one of those things of
circles colliding. Yeah.
A what? Of just like someone I haven't spoken to in over a decade now, obviously, from when I left secondary school or when they left secondary school. It's just like one of those things of, whoa, that is just so bizarre that my medium-sized town's all boys grammar school had two people that ended up in the same sort of sector, but with no trajectory or knowledge otherwise of it. And obviously they didn't realize before then until I delivered the video, because in all of their documentation, I'm down as Midgeman rather than my legal name.
Oh, right. Yeah, because, you don't think. Yeah.
And so, or it's down as my company that the contract's with. So it's like nobody would say that. So then only the person that was directly handling my account obviously knew my name because of my sign-offs. And then they saw the video and they're like, whoa. Anyway, that's just a really small world scenario. I
genuinely love those moments though, when you kind of get that, because it's so like few and far between. Actually, like, would they like to be a guest on the podcast and talk about how they got into that side of the industry?
Put it this way, it is not a connection I'm going to let go of lightly.
Let go, no. We're going to reel you in.
Now that I know that they work for a ad company and can get me sponsored campaigns, hello, friend. We're now best friends. I will say it's also been a pleasure working with Mechanistry and this other company. I'm tentative to not... Well, hold on, what's the...
It's the same one that we're both working on.
Yeah. They've been a pleasure to work with.
They're one of my ones that I'm like very happy with. Like, I know that you get a solid deal. There's no messing. They're very accommodating. Within that, there was a requirement about number of uploads around the sponsor bit content, which I said, hey, that's not going to quite work for me because I upload 2-3 videos daily. I appreciate you want prime spot on that. I can give you probably like a 16-hour gap before the next one goes, but with the schedule as it is, I need to, especially with how my channel's doing at the moment, having had a holiday, I need to just feed into the grind of the churn.
Oh, so you actually are doing some Timberborn as well yourself?
I am. I'm actually recording that for us right now tomorrow morning, to then fire it over, because it's just going to be a straight let's play of me diving in.
Mine is due today, and like I'm really nervous about it because all of my content recently has been CK. So I'm really nervous of how it's going. I sent them a big email explaining the analytics of turning off my subscriber notification as a smaller channel. And Mechanistry, thankfully, have actually agreed to allow me to not notify my subscribers in that way. So I'm going to see how it does.
See how that does, yeah.
But also, I'm quietly proud of this video. Like, I think it's a really good video that I've made. vidIQ is saying that my thumbnail is 100 out of 100, so I'm excited on that. See if that makes sense. But I'm gonna let you in on the little. So, I was playing as the Iron Teeth. There's 2 beaver factions in Timberborn. I was playing as the second one.
Yeah. I'm gonna play as the starting ones, because again, it's also really interesting. Like, just here, both being approached by this company to make a bit of content on the game.
Very different style of content, though, we're making.
Because they've reached out to you because they know the kind of edited guide, crafted, pick out a unique point that they want. And with me, as I always make this clear, I'm always like, I will just be delivering a very straightforward, I sit down and I start playing it probably for an hour, and that's what you get. Again, we've done episodes where I've shown my editing. For this, it's going to be a very much of... There probably won't even be like an intro cinematic to it. It'll just be a nice fade in from black and me going, hey guys, welcome to Timberborn. Thanks for sponsoring the video. Let's dive on in and start being a busy beaver. And then I just play it. And I think, though, that when they're looking at it'd be interesting to get this contact that you now have to say, like, what are they looking for in those stages? Because there's a huge amount of, we want that really nicely edited, crafted high stuff, but also we want something that's an easy, like, first playthrough of someone brand, because that realistically, yours is the type of content people want to watch to get better at the game or discover more about it. Broadly speaking, mine is probably a closer to their own direct experience of diving in for the first time.
Yeah, I would say yours is a first look, whereas especially with the style of video I've done, because it's not a tutorial, not one of my edited tutorials, it is just a edited fun video. I do kind of run through how I've been doing things, but it's more entertainment. This is a challenge. Yeah, so mine's framed as can I send beavers to space? That's the whole concept of the video, because the wonder for
should we send beavers to space? They never ask should.
Because the wonder for the Iron Teeth is technically called an Earth repopulator. It's essentially doom divers. It's like goblin doom divers. They put beavers on little gliders and fire them at the sky, essentially. So I framed it as sending beavers to space. I end the video with a cover of Space Oddity, David Bowie, with me playing guitar, and I've changed the lyrics to Damn Control to Beaver John, and over like slow-mo launching beavers to the sky.
I mean, already that is incredible. Yes.
like I said, yes. I'm very proud of this video.
Hell yeah.
It's I'm just going to do something fun.
If they don't come back saying we want that as the official song of Timberborn, Damn Control, Beef.
Yes, take your berry pills and put your glider on was the lyrics.
Inspired.
I'm sure Foxty will like cut some of it in
yeah,
now.
definitely
anyway.
We need that. Yes,
but it's like why am I calling her Foxty? It's Nikki. It's I'm sorry, Nikki. I'm so trained to call you by your handle and not your name. Because of anonymity reasons. But anyway, yeah, so this I will say with this campaign as well, it seems Mechanistry are really open to having at least some criticism of the game and thoughts and actual genuine thoughts and feelings in a paid ad, which, you know, some companies are out there that want, no, you have to only speak good of our brand, etc. and stuff. Whereas they want you to play the game. They want an honest opinion. They just wanted people to make content, I think, because it's a big update. So they've incentivized it.
Content like mine gets then reached out for campaigns like this. It's always good to have it, but there's always room for Let's Plays as like first look, because that's a huge part of the appeal. They know that they can kind of get a fairly, I think it's also they know it's kind of like a straightforward bit of content to get out of a creator, because they don't have to chase them for constant rounds of edits and things like that, because it's largely like they were like, hey, could you just play this game on your channel in your usual style, which we know is you just playing games. Can you do it? It's a kind of a big broad appeal when they're trying to do a campaign push, that they can get that with like no muscle fuss basically to it. They can just get it done. Certainly from my dealings with them, I've done a few campaigns with them over the years, and they're really good to work with. That actually brings up that there is another agency that I would really like to see if I can wrangle on here at some point to have a chat to them, because they are incredibly. It's just everything they put out, like their briefs that they put out together have got everything you could possibly need: asset links, briefing stuff, really clear bullet points, and they're really transparent about the whole process, and it is just a delight to work with them, because largely most campaigns I'm always left, there's always a chaser email I need to send up about something, because I'm like, oh, I'm not quite clear on this, or hey, do you have this bit of artwork, or can I have this asset, or what happens if I can't do that, you know. And yeah, this other agency, they're very good at just making sure you've got everything. From what I understand, it's a lovely place to work at. They do a 4-day work week as well.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, they're very like, yeah, very forward thinking, very kind of modern
name
approach.
Them. I think it's useful if we name these people.
Yeah, Yrstruly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're like literally like, and again, no shade to any other agencies that I have worked with that I enjoy working with, but just because of there isn't a tier list to agencies, but just for the sake of saying, hey, who's my favorite, like it would be them, Yrstruly, because they're just brilliant. They just get the space, and they get and I think they're also some agencies, you can tell when they've just thrown out an email to 100 people to see who they fish in. You can see which ones have actually taken the time to very specifically go, no, they've done their research, they've chosen the right creator, and Yrstruly, I feel like every single time they're like, no, we've picked a really good bunch, we've done this, we've done that.
I've actually noticed, because of how I'm going to say successful my channel's been in the last few months, the stat lines have been nice. I've started to pick up actual, like, when we started this podcast, I don't think I had done an actual sponsorship outside of working with Paradox. Like, that wasn't just getting a key. I'm probably wrong, but this is like at least this is the first one I've done in years. The thing I really liked about working with, I think it's Gamesight. Gamesight, sorry. Gamesight is the company that is doing the Timberborn campaign.
Oh, is it for you?
It is. Oh, have we got different people?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm with Fourth Floor.
Ooh, this is Gamesight for me.
Oh, is it? Hang on, is it the same? Let me look at my people. Because I wonder if is it like almost like an agency within an agency thing doing the. No, it's all Fourth Floor.
Either way, okay. So
multiple ones. That's really interesting.
Well, the thing that I really liked about Gamesight, we had some initial discussions, obviously, over pricing and stuff, but I sent over essentially my rates sheet of what I offer and what the style of. Basically, I have a sheet of this is the style of video I can create for you. This is how much roughly it will cost. There will be changes depending on your what you want and stuff. And they were very respectful of that and went, okay, this type of content that we initially approached about isn't in our budget. Let's talk about this. And then in essence, as soon as I got playing the game, I've actually given them something slightly more than what they paid for. But that's because, one, I was enjoying the game because I really I already owned Timberborn, put it that way. I'd already done a playthrough of it myself. Like, this is not a new game for me. I spent about 28 hours last week playing Timberborn. But also they were really respectful of that, and they were just like, hey, let's make this work. That I really like, opposed to other deals which I've definitely turned down in the past, where it's just like, you have to do this, 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 and this. We want this, or with no monetary incentive, they want the world, and then you're just like, sorry, that's not worth my time. Which I think we've spoken about in previous episodes of the podcast. Interesting that they're running multiple agencies on the campaign.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting because I wonder if, because I say, when you were saying like, it's a US company, I was like, I think Fourth Floor are UK based. In my head, I was like, oh, no. So I guess maybe you got picked up through the one they were using for US kind of syndication for the campaign going out. I got picked up by the UK.
Which is weird because I am a UK creator.
But then maybe, I mean, I don't know quite, again, it'd be very interesting to see how your contact goes about, like, for talking about, like, reaching out for brand campaigns. Maybe there's a way that they looked at viewer demographics and your channel came up with higher US ones, perhaps. So that's how it got pulled into, we'll come through that, or that one latched onto you. Or
maybe they're doing budget and weight. Maybe that's hitting smaller creators, Fourth Floor hitting larger. Initially, I was approached for a very different style of content than the thing I've created, so I don't know if that's true. But I'd be very interested, maybe, if you work for Mechanistry and you happen to know how you've handled the campaign, that would be really interesting. We're not going to find that information out. But no, it's either way, it's really... I'm looking forward to that campaign. Now, there's been some updates in the content creator world since you've been away again. It's every time you go away, Lionheart, something happens. I've discovered.
So is that kind of a way of like, hey, we need some development, some progression in the industry? Lionheart, could you just go away for a week and then something will be announced? Shoo, off you go. Back to the box. Go
away.
On.
Enjoy yourself for a little while, and we'll see what happens. The world.
Just don't look at your analytics. It's fine.
The world will begin to work again. Oh my gosh, that would be so weird that you are the keystone as to what's stopping people's development. Like just some ethereal connection that me. You have to be on holiday.
I'm the
problem. So YouTube has announced a few updates, which I find really interesting. First of all, they're adding longer shorts, which everyone's jokingly calling mediums. I just generally think this is an amazing thing. All jokes aside, and there's a lot of comments from people that are saying things along the line of, well, we already have longer shorts. They're called YouTube videos. They're not. Anyone who's saying that is missing the point. It means they're offering the ability to do standard YouTube videos in 9:16 and have it delivered to the shorts feed, which is excellent because otherwise 9:16 content normally just went nowhere if it was over a minute, and it got treated exactly the same as a standard video. and therefore abide by any of the analytical data, and also would essentially try to scale up the video, etc. All sorts of weird things. Also, this means that you can probably gain more ad revenue from the short format or mobile format. I think we should all start beginning to say, because it's not short anymore. You can, like, TikTok can go up to an hour, I think, now on that. So it's mobile format. It's mobile content. The majority of audiences these days for video content view on mobile. This is an asset. This is a great asset. And another asset that's adding to this is the fact that YouTube is getting rid of the fact that you can't put mid-roll ads before in a video that's shorter than 8 minutes. They're undoing that. As long as the video is over 1 minute long, I believe you can now add mid-roll ads, which is fantastic for creator earnings. And is fantastic for creators, for example, who make animations that might only be 5 minutes long. It unlocks completely new ad power.
A whole new part of the platform for them to access. But as you say, also, this is, and I'm not going to pretend to know the animator space, but if I was an animator, I would be, if you have any substantial long animations, I'd be chopping up them into highlights and re-uploading vast majority of your content into whatever the optimal length is to trigger that mid-ad placement to be available, and churning a load of them out, because, and then also probably re-uploading a lot of them, reformatting them into 916,
mobile,
making them mobile friendly, because it's going to just like turbocharge the discoverability loop back into your channel. And that's also then the time it takes you to probably reformat or cut and edit up those for the potential increased earnings versus saying creating a brand new dedicated bit of content for that is going to be huge. Like work smart, not hard in that case, 100%. To Harris Heller it, like reuse what content you've readily got available. That's certainly what I'm going to look to utilize out of this, of getting some edited best bits all in there, some of your guides perhaps into the best bits into 3 minutes, squish them down, use what you've got, fire them out.
Some of my guides are 4 minutes long, and this is the thing, like some of my guides are like 6 minutes long. It's a thing of, I've actually had some guides recently, especially with the Manalords content and other things, where it's like I've specifically extended the video script to make it 8 minutes
to hit the ad. But yeah, you can chop those up into then separate sequences of that, fire them out, and see what happens, because realistically you've got really nothing to lose, because it's going into the short feed. It's not going to impact your primary video analytics. It's not going to have a detrimental effect there. So it's like that is the great thing about short. Like if you're ever testing something out, I would say at the moment, like throw it out as a short and see if you're not sure about it, if it's, you know, within that kind of that medium, fire it out as a short and see what happens. Because the worst case is it does nothing. And has zero impact on the rest of your stuff. Probably at minimum, it probably cycles a few more people to your other content at minimum. Best case is, you see a massive rapid bit of kind of growth or viewership explosion on certain videos because the shorts drive that engagement and people start either getting recommended your other content, or it just natively it kind of inspires them to go and check out your additional full length feature stuff.
My genuine prediction for the platform is we're going to see another, in the same way that for a while we saw a surge in the ability to gain viewership through shorts by doing certain methods. I feel like medium shorts are going to get a lot of priority on the platform for a little while as soon as they release. So it would be really good to hit the ground running with those, especially if you're earning on the platform, because they're probably going to get extra promotional work in the back end. Like, this is genuinely as well, this has been a problem for us and this podcast, because we've been making longer clips for TikTok and then only being able to create half as many clips for YouTube, because one, we ramble a lot, so we never really finish a conversation within 1 minute to go into a short without some very heavy editing. But it's also a case of every other short form platform, whether that be Instagram or mobile platform, so Instagram or TikTok namely, kind of Facebook as well, but that's Instagram. So Meta and TikTok both allow really long mobile format content. YouTube was lagging behind. I think even technically now with how Twitch works, they can have. And the other thing about YouTube is you can stream to YouTube in mobile format for up to the same length as a normal stream. So why couldn't you do videos in that? And the streams could appear in the short feed as well. So it was a really mind-boggling thing that the videos could only go to 1 minute. So this is just them kind of catching up, but this serves a creator so well. For example, we will now be able to create shorts that can be used on every single platform as upload podcast, rather than having to go, oh, we've got to curb-tail what we create.
We've got to have a YouTube edit. We've got to have the TikTok and Instagram edit, and we've got to have the... Yeah, now it's like it's 2 edits of the podcast, the actual full-on podcast, and then the edited highlights and bits and pieces, which then just go out as the short form, because they can be those nice chunky, 2 to 3 minute in length. You can actually have a reasonable bit of back and forth, points made, discussion, and come back to it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like making me think I'm going to start doing my kind of life of a creator bits that I want to do more of anyway, which are just me rambling, having a little vlog at my phone that I really need to do more of on TikTok, but also I want to start putting them out on YouTube, but I've not bothered because I know it's way shorter on there, and I end up rambling for like 2 to 5 minutes basically on TikTok, and that's fine on the TikTok side, because again, TikTok really does well now, like monetization wise, the longer it is, the better for you, obviously, if you can get that steady engagement going. Now when I film one of those, I'm going to film it, and then I can be like, right, YouTube and TikTok, go. And just throw it out on both. Because again, like, I want to do that as like almost like a full-on behind-the-scenes series, a peek behind the veil of stuff, or just when I want a random ramble. But also, if I want to do that now on my channel, there's so many times where I'm like, oh, I really just want to throw out a quick video, but I'm like, it'll tank and it'll have a knock-on effect on the next 5 or 6 videos that I upload. Unless I have an absolute banger of a brand new series going out after it to recover everything from. Now I can just use shorts as that point of the platform to throw out all those things. Okay, there is the whole, it doesn't necessarily get fed directly to your subscribers potentially as much, but it will very quickly, if people start clicking on it, it will very quickly end up in the recommended feeds for them. It will start getting pushed to them on their shorts feed. So it's kind of, more behind the scenes, just when I want a regular ramble and it's not a Thursday for us to do our therapy session here, I can do that as a short. We actually, I was on as a guest for another podcast with some Total War creators the other day, and it is amazing how very similar. Like, they were like, yeah, we end up talking in loops about ending up coming back to the same things every time we have a guest, and we're like, yeah, we want to talk about these new things, but we always loop back to the same things because the guest is the first time they've discussed it with us, so we end up sharing all that. But they were like, it's amazing therapy, isn't it? And we were like, I was like, yeah, it's like, honestly, it's probably one of the primary reasons we started this, because honestly, it is so good to vent and to get, and also again, how we were talking about, if you want to use our Upload Podcast Discord to bounce ideas off other creators, outside of stuff like that, there isn't a chance that creators get to regularly do this. Maybe once or twice a year at an event, maybe. But then also there's the whole, like, oh, do we really want to talk shop, in person? Let's just have fun and cut loose and, just relax a bit. But you always end up wanting to. You can see people itching, I think, sometimes to be like, I really want to ask about this thing that they did here, or some advice about this. And it's like, you're like, oh, it's the one time we meet. Do we really want to talk about work, in that moment? And it's like, well, kind of, because everything is work in this world almost. So yeah, but it was nice. I was like, it's good. Yes. Not to say every creator start a podcast, but
start a podcast. It's cheaper than therapy. That's the subtitle for millennials. I think that's millennials.
Yeah.
Start a podcast. It's cheaper than therapy. Yeah. Upload podcast merch
honestly,
coming soon.
We need to do that as merch. Yes, that on a t-shirt. 100%. That should be our launch shirt. Yes.
Oh dear.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes.
Be funny.
That would be incredible.
Oh, someone make a note of that.
There's something I need to talk about on here at some point, because actually it's something I've been working on in the background for years. And
merch.
I'm building a merch platform. or have been for about 6 years. Like, I don't know if it's going to come out too late.
I knew you had merch designed and stuff, and that was being worked on for years. I didn't know you're building a platform for it. Hold on.
So basically, right, okay,
okay.
Here we go. Here's the
No, we're only halfway through the
half.
episode. This can be the key topic point now.
I think it was 2016 that this first started, like the first seeds were sowed. So the company we set up and the platform, it's going to be called Sorted, as in it's sorted. So we were very proud of ourselves when we thought of that years and years ago. I think it's just about held up. But it all came about because we have an old school friend whose family runs a print shop business. And around about 2016, I think he wasn't directly in charge of it, but he was starting to be put more in charge of fulfilling orders and stuff like that. And now, I think within the last like 3 or 4 years, basically, he now runs completely solely the print business with his partner. And that's been given over to him from like the family business. They have like several different bits that they do. But yeah, he now runs a print shop business, and that started off as doing like school uniforms or like the badges for sports shirts and local sports teams and things like that. And then engraving on like trophies and medals and all that sort of stuff. But he was like, yeah, we've got the full capacity to do a dedicated merch site. Because he was like, we've got the full list of distributors. We've got all the shipping. We can do that internationally. No problem. We've got the space to do it all in-house. The only thing we don't have is like a warehouse to store it as stock. And that's when I was starting to think, I was like, oh, I want to do merch. But I was like, I'm looking at all these platforms and the cut they take from you is quite substantial, and I'd love more creative freedom. Now there are, I would say, like, certainly we're coming into this way late. I don't think we're going to be like breaking massive amounts of new ground, but the way that we're trying to frame it is that it is very much giving creators pretty much as much control as possible over all of the transaction, basically, and also over the cost of materials. Like, we'll give you like you can choose the specific brand of shirt that you want. You can have a really cheap one that's still a good quality, or you can have a more premium one, and that's going to give you a really clear breakdown as you add those into the system of what that's going to add to your costs, and give you a suggested price to sell at. But you can still set that, but you'll see it on a very clear sliding scale of, oh, if you sell it at £20, your cut is this. The platform takes a small cut to cover our costs and to generate a bit of revenue for us on the side for all creators, but you have full direct control, almost like no limit. If you want to sell it at X amount, you can sell it for that, and it will give you the very clear breakdown. But the other thing we wanted to do as well is use it as a kind of combined platform of bringing creators that want to either create and sell merch, or just creators that want to get in touch with artists as well, because we've got a good few artist friends that design their own merch and sell. We want to onboard them onto the platform, and then also essentially run a kind of package deal where if you use one of our in-house artists that actually have their own store on there, they can do you a merch package, which generates the artists some revenue, gives them... We want to essentially provide them, artists as well, with more stability, because that's a big thing for them. If you're not selling at conventions and through your own shops and Etsy or what have you, which obviously the fees on there have gone crazy of late and people are really struggling. So we also want to use that as an avenue, not just for creators, but also for artists as well, to be able to fairly set up and sell, and also connect them with potential clients.
A more bespoke service than the likes of larger competitors. Okay.
Like Teespring and things like that, because they still allow you, like Teespring allows you to like customize bits and pieces, but we want to offer a really bespoke bit and also have like that, just that really genuine connection and the whole kind of, made by creators for creators and artists and everyone in between and what have you. So that's kind of the angle we're going at. I mean, maybe it'll take off for us. Maybe it won't. At the end of the day, it will at least serve at minimum as a platform for my merch to then be sold and shipped through. But the way we're building it to get around the costs of like warehouse and stock is that we are doing it exclusively as a campaign only platform. And also because that means that we don't have to front any money. And nor does the creator or the artist. You don't have to put £1,000 aside to generate stock, which then might get stuck in a warehouse for 6 to 12 months and not sell. Essentially, the idea is, because also, and that means we don't have to do the marketing side, because it's all down to creator and artists in terms of promoting it. Use your platforms, use your mediums how you best see fit. Don't let us dabble with that, because we won't, because we need a whole bespoke thing for each individual creator to try and push that. So the idea is that I would say, hey, I'm launching with 3 different designs. You can get it on a shirt, a cup, a hat, whatever you want, basically. Choose the product. That's fine. We will have campaign minimums of what it basically is, what it requires us to place the order with the supplier to get the stock in. People will place an order. They won't get charged until the campaign is successful. If the campaign isn't successful, you don't get charged. But also what that gives us then is a clear-cut list of the specific number of shirt sizes, colors, and any other product customizations that they want on that, without us having to go and say, right, we need 100 of this size, 100 of this size, and not knowing when we're going to sell it.
I've just come up with a subtitle for your business, and off of that, you just like a phrase, kickstart T start with the T on it, your merch ideas. But no, that's really cool. I like that.
So yeah, the idea is it's all campaign based. There may well be times where you have some shirts left over, and we have limited capacity to store a small number of kind of leftover ones that you can then run as an additional bit or use for giveaways or something. Like we can always go to create and say, hey, look, you've got, or if I don't know, the minimum fulfillment is 20 orders and you've had 18, we can say, look, let's push it through. We'll charge you for 2, use them for giveaways, use them for extra bits. You're close to the campaign. It's up. Do you want to push it through? The aim is that we can do stuff like that. So yeah, it's come back. Yeah, we've got Martin, a very good school friend, who's got the t-shirt printing side of the business. My brother's been building the website as a web developer. The major thing that's taken 6 years is that we maybe do a bit of development on this once a month a year, if that, because we're all busy doing our own projects and own parts of the business. I mean, my brother is try and tie him down for some time is mad, because he's just so slammed, and it's just because he's doing it all for free. Martin's doing all of his side for free right now, because we want to just genuinely see if we can make this a bit of a goer as a side business, basically.
That's all content creation is. It's side hustle after side hustle.
Yeah, it's all just constant side hustles. But yeah, so that's the sorted merch business that because every so often people are like, oh, why haven't you got merch? Because I could sell merch tomorrow through
I do I use Spreadshirt right now,
Teespring or what have you, or Spreadshirt. Yeah
all of my designs, for me to even make a penny, means that the shirts are £40, which is ridiculous, and out of that I see about 2, which is disgusting markup on their behalf. The thing is, so to harp on that, my dad, I've spoken about my dad a lot. He has obviously we have a friend who owns a print business. He's done old merch for me before. I know how much a Fruit of the Loom t-shirt costs people to buy. We've had those catalogs where we can buy straight from the supplier. So I know, Spreadshirt, how much you pay for the shirts that you print on. And I know the costs of printing. The markup there,
the 40 quid, they're looking at least 30 quid. I wanted to sell merch that was actually affordable. Now, I still think that, realistically, that probably means I think we were saying we'd probably put up shirts at about $14.99, which I think is still on the medium end of a shirt price.
I would say that's cheap these days. A plain white shirt from Primark these days can go for 12, of good quality.
Medium quality shirt, not the cheapest, not the most premium. I think the idea was looking at $14.99, and I think the idea from that was to try and give the creator between £6 to £7 per sale, so nearly half the revenue, because the rest of it would go into the cost of the shirt, because again, our costs aren't going to be super low because we're not doing massive runs. They're going to be probably smaller runs of sort of 25 to maybe 50, unless we had some massive creators come on board that can shift that much in terms of their campaigns, which would be incredible. But which again, that's also the flexibility we have when we can run a campaign. We can say, if a system we want to build in, it won't be available to start with, but essentially it would be almost bonus unlocks over the order amount. So if we hit 100 orders, actually it knocks £1 off the price for everybody, because the bulk order is cheaper because we've gone to the next tier of minimum. And that's what we want to try and do, make it really transparent all the way through the process, and also just make it so it's merch people can actually afford to buy. I said, like, you look at it and you go like, oh, it's $39.99 for it. Hell no, I'm not. No, like, because realistically, if I want lots of people to buy my merch. I want, you know, if I want someone to buy a load of t-shirt, I want them to buy loads of designs. And if they're at $14.99, that's a far more attractive price point to get regular sales, because the idea would be to probably do, every time I start a new series, have a new corresponding t-shirt that assigns to that series. So people that are fans of the series, that have enjoyed it or that game, can get something themed and inspired by that. So that's kind of the general thought process behind it. Hopefully in the next 6 years we'll actually launch, because we keep saying, oh, this summer we'll do it, this winter we'll launch it, and you know, life be busy. We're going to do it eventually, but it's why I could have launched merch before, but I've sort of said I'm going to hold off specifically doing merch until I can give this a go. If it goes out and it flops and dies a death straight away, fine, so be it. But it's something I want to try and give a go.
I look forward to the final release of this, you know, once we retire.
Yes. Yeah. It's roundabout then sounds about right.
Yeah. Fantastic. No, it's a cool idea. But I think that also, just as a creator, that puts a good idea of, if you have an idea, don't sell yourself short. Chase it. Like, get yourself going. Like, as creators, we are built to side hustle. So building it, if you've got an idea like that, go ahead, give it a go. Oh god, I had another topic to swap to just a moment ago, and then I got really invested in your idea.
Also on Twitter, I've just actually finally given in, and I've actually paid to be verified.
Oh, you've got
I've paid for premium. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it. It was because I had I wanted to make one consistent tweet about my hot sauce challenge, and I wanted it all in one long tweet, and I was like, I could break it down, but that's just gonna not. So I was like, oh, I really want a longer post. I was like, oh, you know what, screw it, it's going on the business card. Like, it's like, let's try it out and see what this is like. It's like an annual subscription, so we'll just put it in for a year and basically come back to it. So yeah, in like season 2 or 3 of this podcast, we'll revisit has it been worthwhile. It's probably not but it's the one of few times where I'm like, oh, I really wish I could edit that rather than having to delete that tweet and put it back out. I hate the fact that it's all monetized. But I mean, I get why it's kind of monetized, because I guess that was kind of the black hole of Twitter, right? Of funding and stuff, of like, they weren't generating much. They were spending far more than they were bringing in, and they're trying to do it. I don't think they're doing it in the best possible way at all. But yeah, I've finally fallen down the rabbit hole of going, you know what, I'll try it out and see. I think it was actually spot on, because there was a couple of people I follow that I know have been of a similar mindset of being like, resist. And I saw one or two of them recently go, you know what, I've done it, so I could use this particular feature set that I wanted. And I was like, maybe I should do it for that one thing that I do.
I think it's fine until, like, the main problem with Twitter, or X as it is now, with a piece of social media, is everyone doesn't want to be there, but none of the competitors are quite there yet.
There's nothing viable. Yeah. I actually kind of feel like it'll be the whole like YouTube thing where people will go, oh, can't you switch to, you know, frustrated with the platform, can't you switch to, you know, Rumble or Vimeo? Well, I don't even, you know, that's the thing, I don't even know what, because there aren't any viable competitors to it.
Calling it tweeting became this cultural zeitgeist of sending that kind of message out to the world. Like, just another reason it's so dumb that you changed the branding.
I actually think that even all the other platforms that do spring up at the time, there's never going to be anything that can build up to that same size. Everyone's on it. Whether they say, oh, I'm going to leave it and go on to these ones, you end up setting all these accounts to these alternate ones and then never using them after the first couple of like threads. I think I posted 2 threads and that was it, because it just shows how ingrained we are within our current ecosystems. Like, you know, the apps you use, the websites that you regularly clock into, it's whether you like it or not, Twitter, X has become part of that regular loop that we go through most of the time. And because it would honestly take a mass exodus of like global brands, I think, and global personalities to all go over and very actively start using competitor very actively, that's the only way you would get the vast majority of users to do a massive shift and actually probably properly dent Twitter/X, because all the while people stay on there using it and the vast majority of the big names stay on there, yeah, you're not going to have an exodus of small little niche communities. And ultimately, whether you like it or not, as a creator, that's not going to benefit you going off to even smaller platforms and even smaller slices of the pie.
Unless you fit nicely in a niche that is definitely like stronger on that platform.
With a super active community.
Yeah, I would say, though, it's still worth signing up to all the platforms as a creator, just so you grab your name more than anything.
Actually, speaking about grabbing a name, that can be a good segue into I'm being impersonated on Discord.
Oh, God, I forgot about that one.
I'm actually kind of proud of myself for reading that one in on like a sensible tangent. I'm like, oh.
Great. No, fantastic. Yeah, it's well done. What Lion, go for you.
Segue. What? Yeah, I've for about 3 months, I've been getting messages from people on Discord saying, hey, is this you? And it's someone that is using, so actually a really good point that you just said that about grabbing your name on sites. When Discord made a change early in the year, last year, about user codes, I tried to go in as soon as I could. Someone had already taken Lionheart X10. So my Discord name is Lionheart.x10. That's the closest I could get to it, because I was like, I don't want to add in like an extra X or a 1 or a 0, because I was like, I'm gonna have to. You couldn't put like a dash or anything, so I was like, I'm gonna have to put a dot, a full stop. Someone has created an account called Lionheart X10, so they've just dropped the L, and they have taken my avatar and copied my bio into their one on Discord, and they've been messaging people about. It's some kind of scam related to like audience engagement or audience growth or something like that. Again, basically, don't ever click stuff that people randomly message you on Discord. But they're pretending to be me and using that. Now, kind of frustratingly, that there isn't a direct system of report. When you report a profile, it's to like say, hey, their avatar is offending me, their bio is offending me, or their links that they're sharing. There isn't anything that directly says, hey, they're impersonating me. So I'm going to have to reach out separately to their support and see if I can do it. And I'm kind of just waiting. There's a few people that message me. I'm saying, please send me screenshots of the messages you were being sent, because it's very clear and obviously a scam.
Even more so, can you tell them to, if they don't already have it on, turn on Discord developer mode, because you can copy unique message IDs and also profile ID codes. And that will allow them to actually just check Discord's logs. As well, and pull even if they delete the messages, they will be able to pull them. And
I'm saying as well, just like anyone does it, just report them for whatever reasons you can do on the thing, like report it across the board on the avatar, everything else, because hopefully enough of those going through is going to make someone take a second glance at it and be like, oh right, yeah, we should. Oh right, yeah, okay.
It's very odd that they don't have an impersonation one.
Yeah, it is very odd. I would have thought that would be that should be like a default one, like the solid fourth option to just have there.
Also, what is it with you and getting impersonated on platforms?
I don't understand it.
Because it was happening on TikTok for a while as well, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. This is. I've added the fake account actually of me, and they've accepted me as a friend on Discord. So I can see they've been a member since the 25th of January 2024. I mean, I assume it's probably a bot, but I thought, I'll add them just so that I've got the contact there, so then I can link that to Discord themselves. I think this is something that needs to be improved on Discord, of perhaps need some kind of like verification thing where you link additional accounts to prove your identity. And not only does it stop people signing up with your specific username, but if someone else, but also I could verify that
you can link YouTube accounts and stuff to your...
Yeah, so I've got everything, all the connections done.
So that would prove it's you, because only you can make that connections.
I think there should be a way of like verifying your display name. And if someone's got a verified display name, it means nobody else can choose that display name, because it's been claimed and verified by the official account. And that means if you, even to the point where if you started typing one in, or or something like that, it would go, no, this is verified, you can't choose that. And it would maybe even have a link to the verified account that has claimed that. So at least you could have that additional layer of certainty, knowing that you are who you say you are. But I mean, yeah, general kind of rule of thumb, in as possible. Apart from very exceptional circumstances, I'm never going to reach out to you in a DM, guys, on Discord. What I would do is I would at you on a mutual server. If we do need to speak via DMs, it would probably be, whatever platform we're currently speaking on, we're being saying, here's my Discord, add me, and then start talking to me that way. Like, you do the interaction that way. Here's my, but yeah, if you're ever wondering, join my official Discord, join our Upload Podcast Discord, because we're all on there and you can verify that way. And that's what the vast majority of people have done, because I've had people that aren't associated with my community. I've had 2 different Twitch streamers now message me saying, hey, I'm not into like strategy game stuff, but I've been having these messages from you, I think, but it seems like it's a scam. Just wanted to check, so I've joined your Discord. So I'm really glad that people have.
Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah, it's really broad, and it's not just, it's some of the people that's trying to dupe is people within my community or people that are associated with like strategy games and stuff, and then for others it's just completely random. And I think that's perhaps it's trying to spread it wider so that people haven't directly heard of me, so it's easier for them to potentially scam them into. But also, like, don't ever click any links that are sent to you, unless you 100% know where that source is coming from. I don't do it.
Emails, Discords, or do what Lamadia did, what Hannah did when we contacted her about the podcast. I emailed her from the Upload Podcast email. She then DM'd me on Twitter like, hey, was that you? And I was like, yes, it was me. Understandable.
Yeah. I've done that with sponsorship stuff when I've had a random email about something and it looked sketchy, and I've found the PR contact on Twitter, sent them a DM saying, hey, is this you? And then they verified, yes, that is. Or in a fair few cases, nope, it's not. And especially a smaller creator, if you're getting game keys sent to you, and they're like, hey, click this link and sign up to this thing and you'll get a key. Super sketch. Don't do it. They'll send you the key directly in the email if they're going to send you a key. There's very few reasons why they would ever need to, onboard you onto another platform or a site for various bits and pieces. Take that email, screenshot it, and send it to them via a DM or something like that.
No one's going to be upset that you double checked. If anything, they're going to be proud of you for doing your due diligence, if that makes sense.
That might even on the odd occasion earn you kind of, I don't know, just extra kind of placing within creator rankings that they look at to work with another time, because they know you're switched on and you've got a level head to you. And if you flag up something that's come through that's been done incorrectly, they're going to be appreciative of that, that you've highlighted that for them. But also, if you are getting something through that looks fraudulent, flag it up to these companies, because they obviously have the legal departments to put as much pressure as possible to actually smash some bugs and scammers out there. Will it actually get it sorted? Potentially, maybe not, but realistically, they've got a better shot than the rest of us at probably getting some kind of solid resolution from it. So it is worth flagging. Obviously, if any creator that you follow, interested in what have you see stuff being impersonated, do let them know, because I wouldn't know otherwise, like, that stuff's going on. And obviously it really frustrates me that somebody's doing it. And then, like, realistically, I go onto it, and the thing is, on Discord, when you open up like a message, it does show very clearly, like, this display name, they've set it to Lionheart X10, and then it's got Lionheart underneath it. But it's easy, like, you probably, if you do get a message from me and you're like a fan of my content, you're probably excited and you're like, oh yeah, cool, really got a message, I'll read through it, and you're not looking at that name. Plus, you might also generally think, oh, maybe he couldn't get Lionheart X10, so he just went with that.
For a long time, I couldn't get Midgeman for on many platforms, so I was Midgeman Games 1, like, everywhere, which did not look great. I'm so glad that I'm Midgeman everywhere now. The only reason I haven't rebranded the name either is because I'm so locked in with this brand after a decade of use.
I don't use Lionheart X10 as my display name. I use just Lionheart, because the X10 actually is meaningless to me. I still don't understand why, but
Xbox gamer tag, let's go.
Yeah, my brain in 2007 when I first created the account looked good. To my brain, it went, that looks good, and I'll stick with that.
For about 3 months on Xbox Live, I was XXX the Leprechaun Hunter XXX. Like, we all go through weird names, and it's unfortunate the ones that stick.
That's now your OnlyFans.
I think it was a da instead of the as well. So it was da leprechaun hunter. So it was even
Amazing.
worse.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christ, that was.
Oh my days. Yeah. That's
Oh, dear.
yeah.
So yeah, basically, be safe out there, I think, is our final message for today's really weird episode. We covered so many random things. There was a bit of a tangential one, which is totally separate podcast coming soon. No,
You can get all the merch on the future Sorted, released in like the next 6 years.
sometime before the heat death of the universe, we will see these things probably. Anyway, let us know in the comments if you've had any business ideas that have taken forever or never come to fruition that you'd really like to get going.
Did they eventually pay off? Did they not? Did they flop?
Or if you're a creator and you have questions, remember you can get to us via our comment sections on YouTube or on Spotify, but most notably via our email, hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk. And you can also get all of our links, etc. at uploadpodcast.co.uk. I'm so used to saying the hello before that I almost screwed that up. And we will see you next time we upload.